So there's much to talk about, much to say. And today I'm going to talk about Hillary Clinton. Real quick, just a quick comment on this fraud of a woman. For all you women who say that, oh, women leaders make good women leaders. Yeah, no, not always, okay? What I'm really happy to note in many red pillars are actually abandoning the wagon of bullshit. And they are realizing that it is not a gender war, that they've been actually coerced, manipulated, and hypnotized into thinking it's a gender war. Hillary Clinton came out to say that young people don't understand the nuances of what's going on in the Middle East, and they are foolish, and so on and so forth, putting down young people, putting down the internet. This is one of the things that's going on in Australia, is and a lot of people are jumping on the wagon because people have been educated publicly in mass, like goose, like sheep, to not, the point is not to learn how to think. The point is to learn how to remember, recall, and vomit it out so you can pass the exams. So the concept of thought, the concept of, this is why the conspiracy theory tagline was created by the CI, you know who, after JFK's untimely violent demise, and that term was coined and shamed. Okay, there's a reason for that, because to look at a conspiracy and to theorize means you're thinking. You're actually fucking thinking, investigating, putting two and two together, puzzling the pieces. So let's go back to Australia. So Australia wants to make it so that kids who are 16 or under have no access to the internet. Now, you and I both know that the dark web is a place of horror. It's a horror chamber where people are, their lives are stolen from them. You know what I'm saying? And before that, violence occurs. Okay? And there are multi-millionaires that pay for that. You know that, right? The red rooms. It's called red rooms. Okay? So all of that is a real concern. Obviously, it's a fucking tragedy. But with the internet, and with the fact that we have some of the top hackers here in the other little country in Middle East, they could very, very easily find these people today with the technology we have. This is not DSL. It's not the movie Hackers. This is not, we don't have a 28K modem. Okay, so shit can be found. We have silence all over the world. If they wanted to, they would. I'll leave it there. The freedom that you young people have enjoyed because of the internet. Many of you have found out, and I'm going to give you an example of why the internet is important for many of you. And again, parenting is important. You have to parent your kid. My son did not see his first PORN until he was 17. Why? Because we were parenting him. That's why. It's not difficult to do that. You get involved with your kid. You don't just leave it at how was school. You're all right, and you go on with your day. That's not parenting. That's your relief not to have a conversation because you had a hard day at work or whatever. So I had a friend who was in her early 30s whose brother was molesting her, okay? And she thought it was normal. I'm not joking. She was 12. And she went to school, and one day she told a friend who apparently was being parented, and told her mother, who told the school. Now, this was in the late 80s, early 90s when this occurred to this young woman, and she had no internet to do research to see, is this normal, my brother doing that to me? What's going to occur is that teenage kids in Australia are going to be boxed in situations that are very dangerous, very toxic, very abusive, very manipulative, and must I go on? And so it's taking away the opportunity for a child to simply ask a question. This is happening to me. Is this normal? And the apps that we have, including various AI apps like ChatGPT, Mistral le chat, will answer fuck no, obviously. So that's really my concern more than anything. So Hillary is talking about how all you young people born in the mid '90s up to this point, meaning you're all under. I'm going to give you you're all under 33. How's that? I'll go there as an age. All of you did not get your education from school. You got it from the internet. Many of you are fascinated by things like psychology and chemistry, science, astronomy, astrology, and other things, anthropology, and you're actually doing your own studies, which is, fantastic. And how many times have we seen on TikTok or YouTube, I did not know that. They never taught me that in school. Wow. Like I'm 1 hour ago didn't know that. So whatever the hell people say. So my point to you is they really want to create a class, a society, a generation of absolute non-thinkers, not questioning, absolutely ignorant. And that's dangerous. There are things you could put on a phone of a teenager where they don't have access to the dark web, because really that's the most important. How many times have we told mothers not to fucking show pictures of their babies, their toddlers, and their children online? How many times do we have to tell parents to do it? So honestly, it's not the children that are a problem or the teenagers. It's the parents allowing it or doing it, promoting it. For God knows why. When you've got to be, like, I'm sorry, an idiot not to know you're putting your child in danger. Especially if they know that you live in, say, Idaho. Especially if you're actually filming in front of your house. Especially if you're filming in various neighborhoods. Because any real fucking predator, all he has to do is look at the background and do a Google photo search and figure where your kid might be located. And not to mention, you tell the world your child's name. And we know what AI can do now with your child's face. Okay? And create a whole other reality that you never intended. But let's go back to Hillary. The fact that many of you support the Palestinian people's right to exist is a problem. The fact that you're putting two and two together as to who is financing the horror that's going on in Sudan and the Congo makes you dangerous. Now let's go right into the spiritual aspect of all of this, because there always is. I work with young starseeds. They're in their 20s typically. The question I keep getting is, what's the point? And you know exactly what I mean. You're not naive. You know what I mean when I say, what's the point? You know where I'm getting at. And to tell a young person who has dabbled or struggled with addiction because it is so hard to be in this density, to do a 360-degree view and to see that this is all, the system is all bullshit. And to struggle between an innate 5D consciousness and the 3D platform template they were born upon, promoted and curated and pushed, bullied into them by their parents and their relatives and society's, normalcy of it, right? These kids, the kids Hillary Clinton claims are ignorant, have more fucking heart, integrity, and empathy than that bitch will ever have. She's an absolute disgrace to the boomers that actually fought for peace. And we know that the LS, starts with a dog, LS dog, right? Since we have to fucking talk in code because we're treated like we're 12, was disseminated on the streets of America because hippies were getting too close to some powerful shit. So addiction is a must to control a people. Aldous Huxley talks about it in his book, Brave New World, where what did they do to all the people? I mean, this is a must, man. If you're going to wake up as a starseed, you better read some books that other starseeds who were alone in a world of fucking 3D pedestrian-minded people who wrote blueprints of what we could expect. So in Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, which is a must, he talks about the whole society is controlled by Soma, S-O-M-A, Soma. And Soma keeps them genteel, keeps them subservient, submissive, complacent. And when they run out of Soma, they go fucking crazy. It's written. Read the book. And I read it when I was 17. I haven't read it since. I read it 5 times. It's a novella. 5 or 6 times, because that's how I read books that I'm enamored with. And so that's why I remember it. I remember certain parts. And it's told through the eyes of a beta. Don't remember his name, though, but I know he's a beta. He's never seen a pregnant woman. And he, very similar to Logan's Run, a very famous movie that came out in the 70s with Michael York and Farrah Fawcett, believe it or not, she does a cameo. It's about, you don't live past 30. You just don't. That's just not how it's done. So my point to you is that we are not going to be living in, and we don't want to live in a society that forces you to pay to live. And those who cannot pay to live, who can't keep paddling and keeping the chin above water, have become homeless. Some people, there's a particular, my client yesterday, lovely starseed soul, who has suffered being a starseed in this planet. It's like a fish out of water. It's like the density is intense for some of you guys. Your hardware, meaning your body, though it is 21st century hardware, okay, unlike many of us who were born in the 20th century, we have 20th century hardware, which means for us to download new ascension code is harder for us, I think, for most of us, okay? And for some of you that are younger, it should be easier, but the problem is that you get these downloads that are mind-blowing, literally mind-blowing, right? Blowing up the reality you're seeing with your 3D eyes, right? And you can't make sense of it. It's all like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. And it's hard because there are many children who are now young adults who were programmed in public education, private education. I'm not going to fucking put private above it because the agenda is the same. And who have also been given little happy pills to fucking make them sit for 6-7 hours, which is not what any child should be forced to do. That's insane. That's insane. Okay? To make them compliant and to shame them when they want to run up hills, climb trees, and build forts in the forest. That's actually normal development. A child that sits like a fucking robot and blinks, and that's about all you know. There's a life form here, but we're not sure because it's been pharma up. I'm going to put it like that. Pharma upped is not normal, and yet we've normalized the opposite. What is up is down. What is down is up. So some of our most brilliant minds, probably could figure out calculus in the woods, I'm not joking, are lobotomized chemically. I remember a story of a woman who, I'll never forget this. She had a 3-year-old son who had been diagnosed with autism, nonverbal at the point. Well, he was 3. Einstein couldn't speak until he was 4, but I digress. And she would do something really cool as a single mother. In the night sky, she would lay down on the hood of the car with her baby boy, her little toddler. And they would look at the stars, and she loves stars, astronomy. And she would point out to the stars and say this, that, the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, blah, 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 okay? And they did that damn near every night because the kid was, not feeling good. He couldn't sleep. And they went to an astronomy show, I guess. I forgot the name of these things because I haven't gone in so many years. But anyway, and he was precocious by the time he was 4 or 5 and knew all the fucking planets. Scientists were present. Apparently there was some scientists present during that particular viewing show, whatever. And approached the mother and started speaking to the child, he knew every fucking planet, every constellation, every this, every that, whatever. They were blown away. And it turns out he had an IQ above 150. But she had been told by the powers that be, public school, psychologists, PhDs, they had told her that she probably would have to institutionalize him, throw him away. Instead, she gave him other things to learn. And she gave him her passion. That's probably why he chose her as his mother, because her passion was already his passions to be before he was born. That's how contracts work, soul contracts. Meanwhile, he's grown up and he's a scientist today. And had she listened to these supposedly highly educated and informed, and I've studied and we've done studies and we've tested, she went against the fucking machine. And she won for her son. So you can see I have the word irreverent doesn't even describe how I feel about systems of oppression. So conspiracy theorists, you've got kooks in every aspect of everything. But conspiracy theorists that have been shamed are actually thinkers. And thinkers make other people uncomfortable. Artists make people uncomfortable with their creative thinking. Sometimes downloading futures that are not here yet, born, birthed, whatever. And that's interesting to me. That one of the things they've taken away from our public schools here and private schools is art, music, art. Creativity builds synapses of creative thinking. And creating art creates a sense of silence, a Zen moment for the child, be it an hour or two drawing on a project, just drawing. It's a meditation. And any artist who's a visual artist knows exactly what I'm saying. They actually know. Your brain empties out. Why do you think they have coloring books for adults? The brain stops. The monkey mind stops. And there's a beautiful nervous system reset that happens from art. Be it sculpture, be it watercolor painting, or what have you. There's no question that happens. And interestingly enough, they remove it at to them, that's the most unimportant class. And yes, to create a society of thinkers, it is the most important class, the most important. And that's why it's removed, because to create a society of thinkers is dangerous. Because what comes next is there's a conspiracy. There's something wrong here. Let me theorize. Isn't that what we all do in science? We have theories until we can prove it. It's called thinking. So it's interesting, right? So Hillary, our little bimbo Hillary, who took Clinton back. I remember when it happened, just so you know. And they had broken down the step-by-step of what Monica Lewinsky had done to his, cigar, and how she kept this dress with, DNA sampling, if you get my drift, in a dress she kept in the closet. It screams setup from the beginning, but that I digress, because I really don't give a shit what a president does with his cigar. As long as he runs the country well, I don't care. As long as you don't touch the kids, we're good to go. That's always been my feeling. I don't care. Okay. Then again, I come from a culture that the last president that had a funeral where he had two sets of children, his mistress was at his funeral, as was his wife and her kids. So he had two sets of kids. So but he ran the country well. You know what I mean? He's still talked about. He's still respected by certain milieus. But ultimately, why am I saying all that? Because the distractions that we keep being manipulated to look away from what is the most important is why we have to look at educating our future children. A lot of people, there's a massive movement, thank God, I know I did that with my son. I homeschooled my son for a long time, and he went back to school because of certain, situations, and it was the worst thing that ever happened to him. Our starseeds cannot go to school with these fucking idiots. Because you see, you've got idiots raising idiots. And then here you come with your starseed, brilliant, golden child who becomes the punching bag of these fools. And that's not good, because what happens, it breaks down their sense of self-respect and self-worth. Our starseed children need to be protected at any cost, because the 5-6 years of these schools, or more, depending on what happens, right? The damage done, you're going to have to unravel when they're 18 up until they're in their 20s. You're going to have to unravel the damage. Okay? So the best thing you can do if you know you have a starseed child is to, violation. Okay. Violation. Let's not tell kids that they have rights, but okay. So they just gave me a violation flag because, God forbid, I should say what I'm saying. That should sound, I'm glad I'm being shadow banned like you have no fucking idea. I've gone through having 10,000 likes, 5,000 likes, or 10,000 views to 100 views, 2 likes. And they're people I know. So apparently my lives and what I'm saying is somewhat important. And I'm noticing that most of the people who I respect and like, there's another guy, his name is Mark something, I forgot his name, but he's doing a lot of shit with ChatGPT. You'll see him, he's bald, he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow, and he'll be talking to AI with usually a guest on his podcast, and he's got light green eyes, and he gets at most 20 to 30 likes, at most. Every one of us that are actually saying something or talking about something that can help people, like Sasha Stone on YouTube. Sasha Stone is one of the most brilliant thinkers in our time. When we were going through the COVID lockdown, he was silent. He lost his YouTube channel. He was both talking about politics and society and the evil of the elite, and he was talking about spirituality, where we come from, as starseeds and things of that nature. And they stripped his account clean. As you know, David Icke's back on. But my point is, every person that actually says anything of value that can change a consciousness, they fucking strip down or somehow censor. Censored books, anything like Lady Chatterley's Lover, about a woman who falls in love with the garden keeper, right? The gamekeeper. That was banned. Why? Because it was written about a woman's independence and her sexuality and her choosing love and sex and freedom and being real rather than her title and money. That was banned in the 1920s. Why? Well, because it was giving women another point of view. Here's another life you could have. Yeah, sure, you won't have money in the Rolls Royces and the Valleys and the servants, but you'll be fucking emotionally happy. You'll be living the 10 of cups, right? Which is, in tarot, is emotionally happy. The sex is great. The connection is great. It's real. It's fabulous. It's a 40-year marriage, and it's nectar throughout these 40 years, for example. And when people are given a roadmap to exit out of shit that oppresses them, you are immediately censored in some way or another. Immediately. So that's a good sign, actually. It's apparently I'm saying the right things. But I'm going to tell you something. When you have the machines, the oligarchs coming in with their comments on your generation, right? Your generation. Please don't fucking think that all of us who are boomers are assholes. Because before me, there was my father. Before me, there was my beloved. And respectively, born 1947 and 1923. And I talked in depth about even my godfather, born in, I believe, 1909. Not everyone was an asshole. That was before you. Never forget. In fact, many of you are the reincarnations of those mavericks, pirates who've come back to right the wrongs. Don't forget that. Don't be arrogant and think every boomer is a fucking prick. Though I have to say, a lot of them are. I hate to say it because even I have to say A lot of them are. They're hypocritical. They want to show us dance moves from the 80s when the world is exploding. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in watching you dance moves from the 80s when the world is suffering. So on that note of frustration, I'm with you. Now let's go right into starseeds and the masculine, because this is important. The starseed masculine is emasculated. And the starseed masculine is emasculated by their fathers. By their fathers and mothers. There are multiple things that will emasculate a young starseed. The father, who is the prototype of Gen Xers or boomers, has a template that for some reason is subservient to the system and is loyal to its jailer. It is the, what would I call it? The Stockholm Syndrome in action. Love your master, right? And so these starseed boys, young men, are raised by these fathers and mothers who really believe in the machine. Your FICO score, what are you going to do with your life? Are you going to college? Why did you drop out? You never finish what you start. A lot of these young people are going out in the world and living hand to mouth, not because they want to lose, but because they want to express themselves. They want to understand what they stand for. In the confusing, chaotic voices of the machine telling them they're failures because they're not sitting in a sports car and own a home by the time they're 32. They are exploring various countries, exploring various roles to determine how they fit in this template and to break away from this template. It's almost like going AWOL. They're going AWOL. A lot of these young men are going AWOL. I think that's from society. And somehow they're making it. But they don't have enough self-confidence because they've been beaten down by their parents, their grandparents, their friends, all of them they're all lobotomized robots, doing what they're told, doing what they're expected to do, no matter what. And so if you're born in that, you might not survive yourself. Because at some point you want to throw in the towel and say, what's the point? See, that's the thing. That's a dangerous question for a starseed to ask, what's the point? Especially when the starseed knows that there are all the other realms where there's worlds they can express themselves freely. It's very alluring to say, fuck this life. I'm out. It's very alluring. But what they don't understand is that this incarnation is like a drop in the ocean. In other perspectives of timelines where there's no timelines, it's like a blink of an eye. And they came here to volunteer. See, a lot of people are telling you, you're the chosen one. The 5 reasons why you're the chosen one. How to tell if you're a chosen one. Anything that feeds your ego, you better run. How many times have I told you that? Do not fucking kiss your own ass. Oh, I'm going to be the leader of a great... No, fuck you. You're not. What you're going to do is you're going to walk beside the other starseeds to topple this machine and to bring in Herald, Escort, 5D, New Earth. The unknown scares the shit out of people. Well, how are we going to live? What's going to happen? I don't know. How the fuck did they live 200 years ago? How did they live in Atlantis? Why don't you sit and imagine that? Or rather recall it? Don't you think they had technology better than ours? They can't still replicate the pyramids. Do you realize that they can't put a credit card between the stones of the pyramids? Did you know that? It's thousands of years old, older than what was first reported. We can't build that today. Why are you worried about what's going to happen? 5D opens the entire brain system. We use about 10 to 15% of our brain capacity. 5D probably puts it all online, or 50% of it. And at that point, we know how to use technology in different higher levels of intelligence. Don't worry about it. And to have faith in that. is why you meditate, is why you chant, is why you work on your chakras every day. To fucking not be afraid. The minute you're afraid, they own you. Remotely own you. Remotely harming you. Remotely. Funny how people believe in remote healing, but they don't believe in remote harming. And harming, the best way and the fastest way is collective fear. Individual, collective. It's a win. I don't have to touch you. I don't have to see you. And the minute you're in fear, you're going to do something to soften the edges. Take something, illicit or legal, to soften the edges. Because you can't fucking do it sober. And this is why we've been pushing and pushing and pushing the collective, consciousness to start actually creating real communities. This box, this app or other apps were created for us to meet each other, to find each other across the world. And now we have. Oh, great. This is funny as fuck. They've limited my visibility for 10 minutes again because God forbid I should talk about community. God forbid I should talk about you wanting to save as many starseeds from anything harmful so that they can actually thrive on this planet and help bring in 5D. God forbid that I should say that. My God, yes, let's limit my visibility for 10 minutes so that no one gets the message. So I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to fucking upload this on YouTube. Hopefully they're not going to fucking scrub it because they've done that before. And if they don't scrub it, remember this image, screenshot it. It'll be up on YouTube. Share it. Apparently what I'm saying should be repeated again and again. You guys do your own fucking content on basically the same philosophy and fucking push the machine. Fuck these people. Sending you much love on your journey.